It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome.
Wow.
To the midday show. You know, I don't. You would think that I have enough tables around me, but there's always something on it. Don't look like that. How you doing? Welcome to the midday show, the Brooklyn Cafe midday show.
You were like.
Don't start.
You were like.
Don't start.
It's like Oscar and Felix of The Odd Couple.
What a mess.
Because if you watched him this morning, he's got saline nasal spray, he's got glasses falling, you got all kinds of things going on. And all I have to do is look at you, peek at you, and not say anything because it's your timing on things.
Well, all my friends out there understand me. You don't understand me.
I don't understand.
They understand me.
Do they?
Yes. So I want all of you to go to the merch
all
store.
Your followers.
What?
You can merch store, buy a hat?
Buy a hat. If I see you on the street with a hat, I'll give you $10.
Nice. You got your mic all set up?
No, it's not working.
Again, you leave us all in a state of perplexion. Wow.
You know why I'm all confused?
Because it's Wednesday. Because Russ is here.
Because Russ is here.
We got Russ Johnson in the house. He's hanging out. We've got Call Me Zena, Sally Bernard joining us. Apparently, Megan of Four Joy Paddles has decided to stay, which is pretty cool.
Have we called Mom and say we're staying?
I'm pretty impressed. You're so independent. What are you, 23?
Yeah.
We got to get you a mic, but very independent at 23. She's like, I think I'm going to stay, which is...
I don't think she said that. I think she says...
For now.
She says she's lining up all her availabilities.
How independent is that? That's pretty amazing.
It's downright scary. And then they're giving her a whole
orientation.
I'm like, I guess she's staying.
I'm watching Grace give her a whole producer orientation. I know she lives in Connecticut. Although we have a producer who's in upstate New York. She's going to college and she's working on all Call Me Zena pieces from afar. So you could be anywhere, which is pretty cool. Pretty exciting.
The other exciting piece of news is that Christmas Tree Grace wants to work on WAMP.FM, which is our online radio station. I've had it for years, I tell you. And there's music and DJ. She's a DJ.
Right.
So she looks over to what we call Josh's Corner. And she says, I know how to work that.
Oh,
I said, well, that's good because we don't use it.
I love DJing. Yeah, I started DJing like 2 years ago.
So we're going to go zzz.
Maybe Kennedy will sing. What are you missing? You like mixing?
No, mixing. Like, it's like mixing songs.
We have to do that then.
Yes, it's actually so fun. Like, I feel like it's like I could just be sitting there and then I'm like, wait, was I just for 2 hours mixing songs?
She needs
it's like
to put on
an addicting hobby.
So let me get this right. So when we come out of commercial, you can scratch a little bit and then we start the show? Or we You can scratch and do all that?
I mean, yeah.
It's like a scratch and sniff
I
type
can
of deal?
connect it to my laptop if there's like a cord. I can mix.
See, it's scratch and sniffy.
Wow.
It works.
That is very cool.
Thank you.
She's like all portable, all in one. And we get pickleball paddles and everything.
Where's the pickleball? You left the pickleball.
No, she was showing it to Russell, which is pretty cool too.
Back in that room.
Yeah, let's put it on the air because
Pickleball
this
paddle.
portion of the show brought to you by Four Joy Paddles.
For Joy Paddles.
Four Joy Paddles.
You are amazing. We've got a new song that was put out by Baxton and Johnny Melnick. Positive Direction. What else
A
do we
new
have?
video.
A new video.
New video, a new song. We're going to play it today. This
You're
is
going to sign up? We picked this one because it's like the dawn. So I had my choice, and you know I had to go with the dawn because it is what it is. We also have to send our heartfelt condolences to Jay Harmon
true that.
and Barbara. Unfortunately, Barbara lost her battle with some health issues late yesterday. So our hearts and our prayers and our deepest condolences go out to Jay. Jay has been an artist here in our studio since we opened. And before that, we were up at another gallery and we met Jay there. He does all of the pencil art that you see in the studio that you would not even know is pencil art. He is the most talented, kindest. We actually have a Beatles piece that he just brought in the other day, and everything here is for sale. So come on by and take a look at the Aurora room with a lot of Jay's pieces and Sally's pieces and see some of the art we have right here in the studio.
She will be missed. He's a good friend of the show. If you come to studio, you go to Studio B. It is the Aurora room.
The Aurora room.
Aurora room. And that's all of Jay's works are in there. And they're all over the studio. And not only has he been a client, he's been a good friend. She will be missed. And Jay, if you're watching today, you're probably busy today, but if you are, anything you need, just give me a holler, and it's done. You know, whatever it is that you need to do that. So I found that news out at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Apparently, you don't sleep.
Something woke me up, and it popped up on my phone, and I was dazed. Just dazed.
She'd been in the hospital for a couple of weeks, I think. She's been fighting a lot of health battles, and unfortunately, Barbara and Mark Freeman, there's a lot of stuff going around.
A lot of friends.
So you know what you realize? Life is short. So you got to enjoy life. Don't worry about the small stuff. Just enjoy every day and what you have surrounding you, because next thing you know, you're facing something, and then what? And then you're battling a battle that you didn't know you had, and then you look back and say, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, and we didn't. So we should.
Yeah.
If all that makes sense to you.
You got to keep going. You know, it's part of life, and just keep the memories.
I was thinking about that today. Me anyway, I spent so much time in my head and renting space in apartments and sharing all this noise in my brain instead of enjoying life and instead of enjoying the things that I have. And next thing you know, you're going through something because life sends you lessons that we need to go through. And you go, wow, I really should have enjoyed that time more. I really should have enjoyed and appreciated that more. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what we should be doing more.
That's why you should let me say the things that I like to say.
As long as they're not offensive.
They're not offensive. It's a matter of philosophy.
But I'm excited because Sally's with us and Russell's with us, which means
he was with us.
What is he doing? He's like the puppet man.
I know.
He's here, which means,
Russell,
the Angels are
you?
with us.
Get over there.
We've got Coach Judy Romanoff joining us today.
Get over there.
Here.
And we've got Evelyn Balin, the heart painter, coming in today.
At what time are they coming?
1 o'clock.
And ice.
1 and 1:30.
Yes, hi.
How are you doing?
Fine. How are you today?
Russ just comes in and out, but he just flows with what's
like the
happening in
waves.
life.
I mean,
It's
listen,
like the
come
wind.
on. The wind blows south and north and east and west. I go with the wind.
But he does keep reappearing, and that's the most important, right?
And everywhere he goes,
Like a leaf.
everywhere he goes, there's always an interesting conversation. Right?
We started this conversation on Monday, right?
And I'm going to tell you, I was completely lost. You, forget it, you were really lost.
I know.
But I think I understand a little bit about what Russ was talking about. It's the pathway to change, which is changing the way things are working right now to a better way, and using all of our elements collectively. It isn't one person, it's a multitude of people,
Right.
young, old, and everything
Not
in
just
between.
one. It's all of us coming together. Like a movement. Right.
And I finally got and understood that.
Like a movement. What are we? Is it a movement of change? Is it a movement of energy?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
It
Awareness.
incorporates everything.
Everything. Everything inclusive.
And it's thought. And Megan, for some reason, she understood it, I guess, because she went to Cornell.
Yeah, but she's already there.
She's there. So we
In
all
terms of
got to
a
catch up.
Yeah, because she's worked with NGOs before. You know, in Thailand.
Megan, come sit here so we can
And
get you on
in
camera with the mic.
Connecticut. So when we talk about it, it resonated with her. It couldn't resonate if she didn't have any prior experience.
An NGO?
Yeah, tell her.
What's
She'll tell you what it
an
is.
NGO?
Like nonprofits.
Okay.
Yeah, I in like some of my past internships, I worked with like nonprofits. Like I worked
Pull up the mic. Keep the mic.
the,
Get the mic closer.
Global Climate Pledge startup and stuff. So
No,
yeah,
hold
I'm
it.
just really interested in like humanitarian stuff. Like I don't know.
I'm going to keep pointing at my finger till you stop moving
Yeah,
around.
keep the mic right there.
You know,
That's better.
but it's interesting because
like a popsicle.
because the conversation we had, she contributed a portion of it on what she deals with,
Right.
You know, the environment and what have you. And the environment right now is a reflection of how out of control we as human beings are.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, these storms and everything, they don't just happen. They're happening because of the things that we're doing. You don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. But if you look at California, who was in a drought for 7 years,
Right.
and now is getting blasted by rains and mudslides and everything else. I saw a video of the United States in 500 years. The only thing left is the Colorado mountains. Everything else is underwater. And she's nodding her head.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It's so scary.
But what's your name?
But I truly believe, and
Yeah,
I had an
right.
amazing thing
Couple
happen
inches from
yesterday.
around.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
Ralph.
no. I
Did
just wanted to
intro-
tell her, keep it close, so that she can hear you.
Oh,
He's a good
okay.
coach.
How energy, it's to do with this, that we are all connected. I have no doubt in my mind.
course.
It's just that we have to be aware of it. And you know Mindy, everybody here knows Mindy, I think. And I hadn't spoken to her for a few weeks, but we had a connection on how I first met her. It was an incredible story. That's not really what I was going to say, but it was an incredible story. And I'm talking to Steve in the morning yesterday, and I used to live in Celebration in Florida, if you know, in Kissimmee. And there was a lot of problems with Celebration, and the way they built the houses. They said they built them like Mickey Mouse's show. You know, they didn't. I'd never told Steve this story, and suddenly I was one of the first people. They worked on my condo there, and I was able to sell it. But from nowhere, I'm discussing this whole story about Celebration with him and where I lived, and I showed him the condo. Last night, Mindy doesn't call me. She sends me a text. She just read a whole thing on Celebration. Absolutely every single thing that I had told Steve, and it's 14 years ago. I'd never brought it up. She just read the article, did not know that I had been telling her this story. And I'm reading exactly what I had said to Steve in the morning. I don't believe that's not psychic or anything, but it's to do with how energy touches each one of us. I have a connection with Mindy on how we met. So it's so important, and I will be quiet in a minute, but it's so important to be positive about everything because it lifts that vibrational energy.
You know, the funny
Said my
thing
piece.
is, before I came to Florida, Carlos Mendez was a salesman in New York, and he was selling condos in Celebration.
Yes.
That's in Kissimmee, right?
I saw something
Yes,
else about
Kissimmee.
Celebration.
And he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
selling condos there because the Mets facility wasn't built yet. And they had all these plans about nice homes for less money. You could have bought it for like $40,000 and you could do it, and they're going to build condos and everything else. And I never bought in because I didn't feel right with the way they were doing things. It was too fast.
Well, yeah, and as a disclaimer, in case any realtors are out there wanting to sell, because I was in real estate, it is a beautiful place, and as far as I know, they have corrected. It's a wonderful place. It's magical.
It's beautiful.
But
It
there
is
was a lot
magical.
of problems at that time. But to read it the day that I'm actually telling Mindy, that was really the story. I believe they've corrected everything. They corrected my condo, and I was able to sell it, and that was many years ago. But yes, it's a magical place, but it's different.
Name? What's her name? What's your
Megan.
name? Megan. Yeah, I'm sorry, Megan. Apologize. Megan is here, bringing to you another kind of energy, right? Right now, the world is in disarray, just a bit. Maybe say that. Ukraine,
Yeah.
Gaza Strip, whatever. Democrats, Republicans, enemies, diabolical, nefarious enemies, if you will. And it shouldn't be that way. She has some concepts about how we can take the political, social, economic, spiritual framework and constructs of what we're dealing with and institute changes. Why don't you ask her about that? What would she do?
Share some of your ideas, Megan. Absolutely.
I guess we just live in a very interesting point in history right now. So I guess just figuring out how we can move forward and all come together and, I don't know, work towards positive change. And as Freddie mentioned earlier, I have a background in like environment and sustainability stuff, so that's something I'm really passionate about. And raising awareness just about all the stuff that's happening on our Earth, and yeah, just getting everyone.
Well, how do we do that? Because I turn on the news, which I don't even want to, and there is nothing positive. Not even the weather. There is nothing, not one speck of news that is out on any station right now that is positive.
Well,
And they're highlighting what's going on globally, and it's all upsetting. So I know it lowers our vibration, right?
right. But that's the nature of the news.
I mean, you've done this for a little bit of time.
A little bit of time, yes. But that's the nature of news. What is news about? When you turn on your news, what is it? Conflict, bloodshed, violence, crisis, weather, tornado. All that changes are the names, faces, and places.
Sure.
But it's the same thing about news traditionally for the last 50, 60, 70, 80 years is that it has to be negative. So as long as somebody killed somebody, as long as there's an accident, as long as there's a fire, as long as there's a war, then they put it on the news. Is that right? They call that news. That's
So
not.
can we change that?
Yes, you can.
How do we do that? We have a platform. We've
Okay.
got crew. We've got everything we
You
need.
concentrate on good news, the positive elements of news. There's a book called, well, I can't think of the title when she wrote the book. I think it's, I'll come up with it. But she wrote about being positive and being uplifting and showing a way to improving yourself, developing yourself, self-development, self-esteem, self-control. You can do it, but it takes discipline and commitment to do that.
You know, the difference is, and I learned this by going, of all places, to Weight Watchers. The difference is that we have been programmed
Absolutely.
for the negative.
Absolutely.
So, and it started with the cigarette and the booze industry, car dealership, all of that stuff. Anything negative sells. Controversy sells. Watching a grown man choke to death on television sells. And everybody that sponsors buys in because they want their spots
But
on that
if you change
segment.
the theme,
But the problem we have here is that there are a bunch of us that would love to change the theme.
but you do it anyway. You just do it.
You do, but the issue here is that people aren't going to watch it.
Yeah, wrong.
Because-
Disagree.
because-
This is a new era.
Because
this is
I get you.
This is 2024.
I understand.
Yeah,
Howard Stearns did very well back 25
I know
years ago.
Howard
But
Stern.
look how well
Series
Drew Barrymore
radio.
did. Look how well Ellen did.
Well, Drew did not do well.
Who?
They
Drew
renewed her
Barrymore.
this year, but they were going to take it off. That was the good news show. It started right before COVID.
But you don't stop because a few listeners drop off. You don't stop. You create a whole movement.
No, you're right, but you need the assets to be able to continue.
Well, there's no limit to the assets available for us.
I'm going to give
on.
you another example.
No. If you concentrate on what you don't have.
No, but I'm talking about what's around us, and not what we don't have. We do have podcasts. Everybody has a podcast.
Okay.
There are over 2.5 billion podcasts now.
Okay.
Everybody has one. And it's funny because when I meet somebody, they go, "Oh, I have a podcast."
That's a good thing.
I says, "Okay," and I have a car, or I have a driver's license, or I have a library card, because everybody has one. It isn't so much about having one. It's about what do you do in a number of ways. And you're talking about a very important way. How to change the mindset, how to change our community, how to accept change that isn't hurtful or has to be hurtful
But
to
if
you.
we don't do it, it won't be done.
I
Now,
I understand.
Case
that.
in point, this small. I'm not trying to cut you off. I appreciate being here. What did Gandhi do?
How many Gandhis do you see today?
Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, Baha'u'llah,
How many of those guys do you
Come
see
on.
today?
Huh?
How many of those
They're out
guys?
there.
Where?
They got to come forward. There's a new generation coming. The
Okay.
old folks
Look, we
are
got
leaving.
Megan.
Megan, there's Megan. Look, the old folks who are captains of industry are getting off this planet. They're leaving. I mean, Warren Buffett, he's going to get out of here pretty soon, right?
Is Warren dying?
He's got to go. Can't stay forever.
The Koch brothers?
I'm sorry?
The Koch brothers?
They got to go.
Eventually,
So
that
the
whole
Soros
generation
got to
is
go.
going to pass.
It's just a matter of
on.
time now. It's a matter of a few minutes or so. They all have to leave. You can't stay. They have done their damage, if you will. They've done whatever they have to do.
They set out to educate people their way,
Okay, but
and they did it.
fine. So what happens to the resources of, let's say, Warren Buffett, right? He's worth what, $150 billion or something around there?
I don't even
something
know.
like okay, fine. Something in that vicinity. How about Charlie Munger, who just left, his partner? He left $100 billion on the table. Did you get any of it?
No,
Oh, why?
because he don't know me.
No, no, because you didn't ask.
Oh no, I asked.
No. James 4:2 says, "You have not because you ask not." But Matthew 7:7. Wait a minute, and I'll just shut up. Matthew 7:7 says, "Asking it shall be given; seeking you shall find; knocking it shall be opened unto you." So if you don't ask, if you don't knock, if you don't seek, you're not going to get.
You're 100% true.
Okay.
And Russell, you've been in this industry for a long time.
For 1,000
And
years.
I know what you did on the air. I know the things you try to get across on the air. And I know how you ran across people that did not want that change to occur.
But it
on the
happened
air.
anyway.
Now, hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
The bottom line is this. I'm all in for change. The midday show has been around 8-9 years, this
Right.
midday show. And everybody asks us, why do we do it? What do you do? And we talk about change in the community. And we talk about promoting change in the community, bringing the minds and the talents forward. We do it. The problem is, in order to be heard among those that have, the have-nots, and everything in between, you got to have the horses to continue for them to continue to monitor and watch. There is Xena. There was Russell's Alien Show. And all of that. I put
I'm just getting
every
started.
show out. I understand that. But what I need is to explain
But he's
to
right.
people.
If we don't ask, we had this conversation this morning, right? We spoke to one of our producers, and we're looking for some things, and he laughed because he asked me for something. I gave him what he wanted, and now I need the next step because I can't get to where I want to go on that next step until I get this step, and I can't ask until I have
Which
this.
is exactly what he's talking
Which he happens to be right. If you don't ask, if you sit in your
You're not gonna
comfort
get.
zone,
You're not going to get. I used to sell cars.
right? If you sit in your comfort zone and complain, you're not going to get where you want to go.
True.
about. So the object of the game is to be uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
That's what we learned.
Absolutely.
We learned that at
Only then are you making progress.
only then do you know that you're actually moving
Now
forward,
you got it.
moving the
Change.
needle.
It's called being uncomfortable as you move forward.
Russ should do a podcast called Being Uncomfortable.
No. I'm
You
doing.
can teach us all the benefits of being
No.
uncomfortable.
I'm doing one on aliens. I'm sorry.
You're doing aliens, okay. Well,
You-
aliens make some people uncomfortable.
Well, that's good.
I think they make a lot of people uncomfortable.
Well, that's
except
good. That's
Sally.
all right. I don't have any problem about it. Listen, I'm in 2 minutes of my fourth quarter. I don't care anymore.
But the good thing is,
And
be
you've
it
earned
good,
your stripes. You don't have to care.
good
Yeah.
or bad, if you present it out there, people will like it, people won't like it. But the good news is if you present it, they will still hear it. I'm hearing them
going to
tell me that.
happen with or without
it's
them.
very important to put out there, even if it makes people uncomfortable. We can say that, but you know what? It will register in their mind. I often say that.
But guys, I get it. You know, now I'm going to flip the script on you.
Okay.
I tried to do a show called The New View with 5 women, 6 at one time, on the set, on us. I brought them in. I told them to do this, let's do this, let's do this. Because what I wanted to do is I wanted to have 6 women's opinion about what's happening in today's society, and they were from every age group. They went all the way across. And what happened? They stopped doing it. Even doing it for free, they stopped doing it.
Then you
see-
replace them.
Huh?
You replace them.
I did about 12. Listen, you know what they used to say? He's laughing. He's laughing because they thought I was crazy.
So,
And I kept doing it. Russell, I did it for 3.5 months.
so
You know, if I hit my head against that wall for 3.5 months, eventually it hurts. So I stopped doing it.
Well,
Would I love to do it?
well, you should-
Absolutely.
Well, nothing against the 5 or 6 ladies, but maybe they weren't, maybe changed it and have a few other people coming in, because eventually, I think that was a great idea.
I
don't know.
tried everything. I even thought about bringing a guy on the set. So they used to drag me in there. Dawn used to look at me. This one I couldn't even allow on the set because forget about it. All hell broke loose. It was a great show. The numbers were fantastic.
But why don't we do it again? I'll be
Because
one
you
of the
know what?
women.
You would be on it.
Oh,
Russ
it's a
would be
different
on it.
ballgame.
Yeah.
It'll work this time.
Because I was
Let's do
trying
it.
to bring in more people like
It-
her.
It will work this time.
Because people are afraid to express their true
This is
opinions.
2024.
Times have changed. I mean, I
Tons
don't know how
of
long
things
ago
are going to
it
be
was.
different and change as
Listen,
we go forward.
That's why I'm
Josh?
so glad they're both back
Josh,
here.
I'm only Riz G Man to do the production on that show. And the kids were writing the questions, it was a great show. Even the radio station was saying, where is it? What's going on?
Well,
They
a
wanted
lot
it
to
back.
do is timing too. So maybe
the
the
timing is
people,
right
the
now.
timing. I feel the same
timing
way. I
is
think
right
you
now.
should definitely
This was
do it again.
before
COVID.
no, what they did in Texas, the ruling.
An abortion?
This was before abortion. All of this I was reading that was coming.
The timing is whatever you want
Timing,
to do
exactly.
in life.
It's very,
the
very
timing is now.
important. And
is
maybe
now.
the timing is now
Not
because you
if.
brought it up.
The
and we're
time
both
is
here.
now. That's why I'm back now.
I'm so glad you're back.
I'm glad you're back with a vengeance.
Because you make us all better. You make Sally better too.
Really? Oh, thank you, Rose.
Because it's like you have this partner
Yeah,
to
a lot
have
of
these
people say
conversations
that.
with
I
that,
know. A lot of
that you
people say
understand different realms. He's been there. He knows the realms that
Been
like
there,
you know.
visited not most of them, some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, more on the controversial topics of Russell and Sally.
The
We've got
path to success.
Coach Romanoff joining us. We've got Evelyn Balin, the heart painter, just in time for Valentine's Day. And Kennedy's smiling, which means maybe we put her as the producer on The New View. She misses it, she said.
They all missed it. It was a good show. I tried to gather the players. It didn't happen.
So, more to come on the other side. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Brooklyn Cafe TV for all behind the scenes and exclusive content. You may even see Freddie talking about who even knows what is out there for today. We'll be right back.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I just want to say that this portion of the show is being brought to you by WAMP.FM, our online radio station, which I hear, just a rumor, that is going to be manned by some of the kids in here. They want to DJ, they want to add music to it and everything else. I've had that radio station for, what year are we in? Since 2016, playing the same music.
I heard an old commercial, like a really old commercial.
Because it was Slick that was here. He played the butter commercial in there. But
Back
it's
to
been
the
a
butter.
while. It's been a while. But
Slick and Geo and the butter.
WAMP.FM is the site, and we are going to upgrade it and start using it because we too are going to do the podcasting online 24/7. And our shows all play on that station as well. So we're going to start promoting that.
See, Freddie, one of the things that need to happen, and I'm working on it, by the way, from me, I just got started. I just put together another nonprofit organization called the UFO Broadcasting Network Incorporated. And so if you go UFO Broadcasting Network.incorporated.com, you go to my website. So I have other ways, Lights in the Night, which is, you came up with that idea a couple, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. Lights in the Night.
Try 8 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, 8 years, yeah, you right. So, but anyway, I got a lot of ways to get in. I got the voice, the UFO voice of truth goes right there. I got bass, like baseball, bass211.com goes there. I got a lot of ways to get there to that website. But anyway, one of the things we have to work on, you talk about all these millions and millions, you say hundreds of thousands or thousands of podcasts. We got to work on how to run your podcast without, and there's nothing wrong with join, subscribe, and all that, like and subscribe. That, most of the people do that to raise money so they can monetize the podcast. But you can also have that podcast operative without saying subscribe,
Sure.
right? Because you can fund it in different ways and different mechanisms to subscribe. For instance, that's why I put the UFO Broadcasting Network as a 501c3. So when I write grants and proposals to those people who understand the goals and objectives of the podcast, then I can get 100,000, 200,000, a million, whatever it is. That way I don't have to ask you to subscribe. I can self-fund my. In addition to writing grants and proposals, I can attach it to, say, a network marketing company that I'm selling something, and that would fund that. So, I mean, you got to be creative in terms of how you fund these things to keep them going, rather than just saying, give me money, give me money, give me money. Right? Can we agree?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Right.
But you've got the mindset to do that.
Well, yeah, because I got to get it done now.
Well, things that you got to do.
I got to make it happen.
But for every one of you, there's 9 of them. And sometimes you have to remember that in the podcast world, there's informative podcasts there's Eagle Podcasts.
Of course.
And there's a valley in between those two
Of course.
theories.
Agreed.
So not-for-profits
And
can use it brilliantly, like you just said. There's a lot of different ways of cutting this banana. The problem I have is durability and staying with it.
Right.
Because in our society, when something doesn't work, people quit.
I got that.
And they say that doesn't work.
Well,
Do you know when I started cameras at the radio station 19 years ago,
Right.
I got laughed at
Oh, I got
by
remember.
Major League Baseball, the NFL, and everybody in between.
Right.
They said nobody watches film on radio stations.
Right.
And they're all doing it now.
Right.
Jeff DeForest, I used to put him on
So
there.
you were ahead of your time. Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
So, a good idea, a bad idea turns into a good idea. When COVID came,
Right.
they started doing something called Zoom. We've been doing our version of Zoom for 18 years.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
Now, you just have to expand your base, that's all. You
But
have
I
to go
love
to the-
Russ's positive attitude because people, they don't know what to do. They can't find the money. It's no, 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 no. And Russ says, I got to find a way, Sally. I got to find a way.
Yeah.
Different mindset, different generation about finding a way.
But look at Sally's show. You didn't do a show before we met you.
No.
A year and a half. No.
And you got about 50 write-ins. Do you answer the people that are writing to you?
Well, yeah, I try to. I'm not that great on the computer.
She needs help.
I do. I always try to be, as you know, I'm telling
You're a little
everybody
too
to put
polite,
their
I
mic.
have to tell you, because
You're
I
too
get
Brit.
all your comments from
You're too
people.
Brit.
Well, I
And
don't receive all of them. The ones I do, I'll always
Because
try
Dawn
to.
answers them.
I don't, but you'll be like, and then you'll get a total spam comment, and you say, well, send me more information. I'm like, I want to delete this spam.
Yeah, yeah.
You're so polite to everyone.
I am,
They're
yeah.
trying to sell you everything, including
Because I
the
try to
Brooklyn
be
Bridge.
positive, so I mean, it's good, but it can also be bad. But I think the theme, I don't want to put anything out there that's too negative. I will get negativity.
Well,
Everybody
spam
does.
is spam. And
Spam
what we
is
do is
spam,
we
yeah.
hide it or we delete the spam.
Yeah.
And then we ban whatever the name of the
Yeah.
person or company is.
I've had some strange ones.
You've got so many people
You've had
wanting
many
to
strange
promote
ones.
you.
Yeah. You're the one answering them?
No, I've been letting Sally do it.
Well, I try, but I don't.
She needs help. She needs somebody to do it for her. That's all.
I do
That's
need
all.
help,
You-
Russ.
She can't do everything.
Help me.
She can produce, direct, and host
Well,
the
we're
whole
working
thing.
on it. I've got someone
And
up.
give psychic messages, right?
Well, you came in here with another message.
Yes, I absolutely did. And I had that just as I was coming along the street, and I saw it as clear as anything. So my guests on my next show are going to be Freddie and Dawn. That was my message.
That was the message.
On Monday?
On Monday. So be sure to be here. Be sure to be sitting on a seat.
What do you think about when you give people a message and they follow your advice? How does that make you feel?
Well, I don't always know. I'll give messages, but I do get people that will communicate, or I know them, and they'll say, as you both do too, everything you said absolutely came around. I also need the validation. I like
got
that.
something for you.
Okay.
You told me, I think it was December or January, that something or someone was going to come into my life, and that the first words out of my mouth was no. And then I thought about it more, and it became a yes. And it happened.
Yeah, that's what I love to hear.
and you
because,
told him February too.
And I could have, I don't know, I gave that to you last month, right? So I don't know, or you don't know until the month comes. I can't always be certain of the month, but it can happen a couple of days or weeks later.
Well, it's interesting you say that because maybe I should wait till Friday or till March 6th. But anyway, something occurred that's changed my life after you said that. And I
Okay.
sat down one day at 4 a.m. and I came to the realization that what you were telling me, it was either a coincidence or it really happened. And it changed everything. After 2.5 years of trying in different ways with the house, we tried a different strategy, just like you're saying, and it worked.
See, I don't always remember, but when you start, because I've given a lot of messages, but I do remember here, especially in the cafe, because I'm here so much. Did I tell you not to give up on it or something?
Yeah, you told me my first words were going to be
Right.
no, and then that I was going to watch it again, and I was going to attack it a different way.
Okay.
Exactly what he's saying.
Great.
And I had you in my head when I had this meeting about the no, and I
Right.
changed it, and I went a different tactical way,
Right.
and it worked.
Great.
My goodness, did it
Right.
work.
Yeah.
Freddie, let me ask you a question.
Beautiful. Thank you for
If you
letting me
don't
know.
mind. When you started when
Here
your
it
son
comes.
gave you an idea a
Here
few
it
years
comes.
ago? No,
Yeah.
I just got to ask because
Yeah.
people need to know. Why don't you tell the people what your son told you, what you were doing, and how it's progressed since then? Let's talk about that.
My son was 14 years of age
Okay.
when we created this.
Right.
I was getting divorced from his mother,
Okay.
and I did not want to lose my feel and my touch with my kids. And I see you later. And I went to see him. He was playing a video game. There was 36,000 people watching him play this video game. And I asked him, what is that? He says that this is called streaming.
And that
But he
was, what, 13 years ago?
This was 13. But he was talking to me like I was a 12-year-old. So I didn't know what it was. So I went home. It was in Tampa. I came over, and I said to him, why don't we put cameras in radio stations so that people could see you, and the impact is different because AM radio was dying. Because people were not vocally prepared to keep shows on a certain level. And so when I went in there, Bob Morancy's the only person that gave me a shot. Offered me $250,000 to be a partner. That's true. And then I went from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 9 o'clock at night. He was there because he had a show with me as well. I had over 30 shows on the air using cameras. And I was in a room. And I did all my production from there. But times have changed. The environment changed, the radio station was sold and everything else. And then when I met Dawn, she says, well, you're gonna have to prepare for the change. We went up to iHeart. We went on the air. I did something I've never done before.
I wasn't that nice about it, but that's good.
I did something I never did before. I went in front of a camera. I was never in front of a camera. And then we came here after a long, winding road. But the message has never changed. It's grown. It's more complex now. The diversity with the producers has changed. The diversity with the programming has changed. My age has changed. I mean, I was doing this when I was 47 years of age. I'm going to be 62. Now, am I still doing it like I did back in the day? No. But am I still doing it? Absolutely.
Right.
But my message is, you're right. If you have a dream, you got to keep the dream.
So you 10x'd it. You're doing 10 times more powerful outreach than you did when you first started, right?
Agreed.
Okay. The other day I said, why don't you watch, just to close, why don't you watch The Founder, how Ray Kroc got started. It's a movie on Netflix called The Founder. Did you watch it?
I found it, but no, I didn't watch it because the Knicks were playing last night.
Because what?
The Knicks were playing.
Okay.
I had to watch the Knicks.
I'm fine, thank you. But the other thing, too, I told you to watch Self-Made. Did you watch it?
No, that one I haven't even found yet.
Okay. It's on Netflix.
I know, but I didn't go looking for it yet.
Here's a lady who took $1.50 and made $1 million with it. No, she made $10 million with $1.50. Case closed.
It does happen. It happened for her.
No.
I'm going to give you a better one.
I can give you
better one than those two.
Okay.
You see that bell?
Yeah.
I got that idea. I got that bell. I got that color. I got that frequency after I searched 500 bells.
Okay.
Because I saw The Intern. If you watch the movie The Intern, you'll know what that bell signifies to me.
Right.
Dawn has done a lot of work the last 3 or 4 weeks. And when I tell you a lot of work, I mean, she takes a computer home, working on the weekend, proposals, this, that, the not-for-profit. I watch it sometimes and it exhausts me, and I feel bad because I can't be at that level that she's at.
Okay.
So she sat there yesterday, and the kids were, G-Man was excited about the bell because it's something they can relate to. They saw the movie. They understand where me, the intern, is coming to play and what they're doing. And she says, you know something? I worked so freaking hard the last 3 weeks, and they see a bell, and it lights them up. That hurt. That hurt me a lot because that's not true. That's not why that's there.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes delivery, you got to do it a certain way for people to understand why you're doing it, not to hurt them, but to advance them. And I think that is the hardest secret to what we need to accomplish here. Because some people They get jealous, they get angry, they get bitter.
That's their problem. They have to grow.
But you know something? I used to say it ain't my problem either, Russ.
But they have to grow.
But the problem is
everybody's not going to grow at the same.
We got to change.
Listen, everybody's not going to grow at the same time.
I understand.
That's why you're here.
I understand.
That's why you're back. That's why Sally's here. And that's why Coach Judy's here, because I think we've got a whole lot of synergy to bring together in this next segment.
And I think that having 3 different ways of delivering it, I think you're 100% right.
Right.
But I think that the delivery has different.
And
that's
then we've got the next generation.
The new generation.
And I got a whole room. I have a whole room full of hers in there that are going to give you 6 different angles as well.
Okay.
Sally?
But it's definitely timing. I just wanted not to interrupt this, but I was meant to meet you guys 3.5 years ago when you were in the other place. Yeah. And I was asked to come down here by someone that was doing a show with you. And he kept saying, put your art down there, you must come. I never came. I'm not saying I don't know what would have happened. Probably would have had.
We probably would have been retired by now. But thank you for playing.
But I did show up when I was invited again to come down here, and I knew I was absolutely in the right place. But the timing works. It's not just from me. It could have been your point of view too with that timing. It clicked. I don't know because I'm not sure of what happened in the past.
It probably would not have worked at the other studio.
Maybe not.
You probably would not have worked.
So
I know he wouldn't have worked either.
How we met in the studio here. I might not have met Russ at that time. I don't know if you were around 3 years ago when I was meant to be in this. Well, not here, in the other place. So if we feel, and it goes back to my show a little bit, that we're not ready to do something. I'm not saying don't do it. But it might be that we're really not ready, but doesn't mean we're not ready. We're still ready to do the same thing, but that might not be particularly that month or so. I don't have all the answers, but I do feel strongly about that, though.
The time is now. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Judy Romanoff. Russ is going to join us. Sally's staying, Megan's here, and more to come. And then our heart painter's coming in. A whole lot.
That's
New
a story.
perspectives.
She's a story in itself, the heart painter.
Fresh perspectives. More to come. We'll be right back.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log onto your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
South Florida, are you ready? Backed by popular demand, the True Oldies channel presents the 1-800-ALARM-ME Saturday Night Dance Fever. Live in concert, Tavares. The Tramps featuring Earl Young. Evelyn Champagne King. The legendary Blue Notes. George McRae. The Cover Girls. The Sugar Hill Gang. Hosted by Denny Terrio. Saturday, March 23rd at Meisner Park Amphitheater in Boca Raton. It's the 1-800-ALARM-ME Saturday Night Dance Fever. Live in concert. Tickets on sale now at TrueOldiesFLA.com. Brought to you by 1-800-ALARM-ME, The Robes Law Group, North Star Memorial Gardens, and Lifegate Acupuncture.
Love the Brooklyn Cafe? Don't miss out on some of the latest merch we have available. Need a new shirt? The Brooklyn Cafe has you covered. We have a variety of shirts in all sizes, ranging from the classic cafe shirt to the highly coveted colorful hot dog shirt. Need something for cold weather? Why not grab one of our cafe hoodies? Or you can snuggle up with one of our soft, silk, touch fabric blankets. The Brooklyn Cafe has everything you need, from clothing about the show to our signature coffee blends and mugs. Get it while supplies last.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to stephaniejaffeart.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
That music is Positive Direction, and his show is on
Tuesday nights and Tuesday afternoons.
At 3 o'clock on radio, at 7 o'clock. Positive Direction with our good friend Johnny Melnick.
It was awesome.
And we have to thank Baxton again for a nice job, but that's our latest and our greatest craze. I'm getting phone calls from people that have music and they want to talk to. Oh, and by the way, Baxton is good, but Baxton has a partner now. Shorty wants to be
in the music video industry. Absolutely.
But Shorty makes everybody cry.
He did Zena's piece, I know.
He made Gypsy cry. Makes everybody cry.
He does a good job.
So there you have it.
All
Okay,
right,
what are we
so
doing?
different perspectives. We've got Coach Judy Romanoff joining us, and she has a foundation, and it was at a time when single parenting wasn't as big and as recognized and acceptable as it is now. A lot of people now are single parent households raising their kids. Sally was a single parent. You were a single parent. You had a partner. But a lot of people, and it was different generations when you had it. Now, it's very different. So Coach Judy has a foundation, talks about single parenting, and really different messages and how we share that information. So welcome, Coach Judy.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. I think we met you a very long time ago.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. I think right before the COVID hit and everything stopped.
Was it here?
We were up at the other studio.
Okay.
At the other place. We met a lot of people at the other place.
We met a lot of people all over the place.
Give us some information on your foundation and what you do. What is your message?
Well, our message is about creating cooperation and harmony among all family members. Because everybody thinks of single parents as just the parents. And they forget there are the grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. So we're really about how do you communicate? How do you create the balance? And what is the knowledge you need to go through that legal process that everyone has to go through? Even when you're dating and you're young and there's a child coming, there are very different things you need to be doing that people don't even think about even today.
You've been on Clear Channel, you've been on TV, you've been on radio, you had your own Coach Judy show.
Yes, I did.
Back in the time we were talking when technology didn't make it as easy as it is now.
No, it wasn't. You had to use your voice to project and make the show and also have your guests understand the way to present themselves, so it flows nicely.
And what was your message then?
It was about practical tips at your fingertips for achieving success.
And how did you get people to trust your perspective?
Well, I think prior to the show and starting the nonprofit back in actually 1992 as a profit and converting it to a nonprofit in 94, and my own personal story is what really launched my career in the nonprofit. So people already knew the name when I started the talk show. And then I also did a recreate and went from Judy Romanoff, voice of the single parent, to Coach Judy. Because when I was helping families individually, they didn't quite understand, well, what is it that you do? Because I was using the word consultant, and people just couldn't relate. So I had to step back and think, well, what is it that I'm really doing? And then it dawned on me, I'm really being a coach, like a coach for soccer or whatever it is for the kids. So that's how I actually came up with the name back in the late 90s of Coach Judy.
And then when were you singing? What year? 90s?
2006. I was single.
2000. How about you, Sally?
I'm sorry.
When did you get divorced?
I got divorced in which one?
The one with your children.
The last one.
I got divorced in 1979, 80, I think.
That sounds about
No, that
right.
wasn't my last one. No, I would.
That wasn't the last one, but that was the father to your children.
February 2023. I'm just joking. Steve, if you're watching, I'm only joking.
In the 70s with your kids.
Yes. Yeah, but they were young.
So being a single parent, did you have advice? I mean, I know your story, but
not really. I
resources?
did a lot on my own without anybody. But, you know, I'm not recommending that. Absolutely. You need family, as you were saying, definitely.
But the thing of it is that many of them end up without family because of the conflicts and expectations and how you parent and what they think you want to have or they think you should have. And if you don't agree, well, then you're going to go into conflict. And if you don't know how to communicate without agitating the other person, that's where you escalate it and it gets into trouble financially, courts, and so on. So we're really about wanting to really get into the communication.
Do you find it, she would be great for The View. Do you find it different now, because now I think everyone brings their kids in, and what do the kids want? Was it the same back in the 70s, 80s, 90s? Did the kids have a voice?
No, the kids did not have a voice, and unfortunately, I'm going to say it, and I won't stand on it because it's not it's a negative, but it's so common, is that the families start talking against the other parent or grandparents to the children. That in turn cause lifetime issues for the children because it's about relationships.
It's called the poison pill.
It definitely is.
Did you do it up north or strictly here?
I
South
strictly
Florida?
did it here, and it wasn't even because of a divorce. I was divorced, but I unfortunately trusted certain parties, and it was supposed to be temporary. And then when I completed 2 medical surgeries, I asked for my daughter to be returned, and the party said, "Go tell it to the judge."
Oh.
It's interesting because my perspective as a male in South Florida, and the judge lectured me, and she said, "Mr. Santori, I would love to give your boys to you, but you live in Florida." She said it straight up to me. She says, "And I wish I could help you with that, but she's going to have the boys," because I wanted my boys.
Right. Well, see, the problem thing back then is it was like it's the woman or the mom who gets the children.
Yeah.
But over the years, that began to change because a lot of men and women were advocating for shared or access to the children so that there was like equal distribution of time and interaction with the children.
I remember they used to put me on some kind of scheduling. And you know me and
Like
scheduling.
every other Saturday.
Oh, there's still schedules. They're still doing schedules, but what they've done to help reduce the custody battles is to give everybody 50-50.
How did you decide to take it to the airways?
I decided to take to the airways. Well, my story was not believable. It still isn't believable today, and the fallout isn't believable. And I was hoping to stop the parties from wanting to continue battling and give me my child back because they were a very prominent family. But it didn't work. It only escalated because they resented it. Mm-hmm. And to this day, certain members still resent it. So that's how I use the unknowns of getting it out into the media. And that's where my career kind of launched. From that standpoint, because people got to know the name, and the title of my story is Mother Fights Brother for Custody of Her Daughter.
Wow.
And how is your relationship with your kids?
Well, I have to say, fortunately, now that the parties who were involved are not involved and have passed away, my children and I, for the last 10 years, have had a great relationship. And as a matter of fact, my daughter just called me from work to tell me about something, and it was like, this is great. There's nobody there to interfere in our relationship and to create negative energy and anger to separate us, which there was before.
Has your advice changed from then to now?
No, it really is still the same because it's about human behavior. And that's why I've also expanded to helping people who are not just single parents, because it's the mindset and knowing how to communicate and address a problem without attacking the other person. And it's like not easy. So I've gotten into those areas because the foundation is communication for everything that we do.
It's really just parenting in general.
Well, but the thing is, in parenting, everybody has their own ideas of how to parent, and that's where things become a problem. And then people have the anger. They don't let it go. They just let it fester and create more anger, more problems. And that's what's sad. So my goal, coming back out again, because it's been a while since I've been out in the airways and with the nonprofit National Single Parent Resource Center, is that we are going after helping those who are addressing, for example, they're young, they had a baby, they aren't going and doing the legal formalities that they need to do while everybody is happy, because there are legal things that you really need to take care of. They don't, so then things escalate for those who are not married, and then you have those who are cohabitating for a long time, and then they have problems, but you always have to use the court system until they're age 18 to take care of the financial, the visitation, and all the other issues that get into play from that standpoint. And one of the things that I do back in the day is that I was actually reviewing people's final court papers before they signed them, and I would point out to them, well, I would question your attorney on this because I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a therapist, but I can sound like one. So I tell them, this is what you need to check out, because people forget that as kids get older, they can become injured. They can discover that there's mental disorders, going to require additional financial aid and help. And people don't think of those things in the beginning, nor do attorneys consider it, in my opinion, because everybody looks to make money. So how do you make money?
And look what it's doing to the kids. The kids in the generation now are having such a difficult time anyway with technology and bullying and body image and all the things that they're going through, right? Because it's instant gratification. Imagine watching your parents fight, whether they're together or not together. Then your grandparents come in and have something to say. And then the courts come in and make, again, how do you deal with this, right? You're growing up and you carry all of this baggage for the rest of your life.
Well, you know, getting divorced, and you and I have done it a few times, it shouldn't be a fight.
Actually, yeah, I feel that I could talk for a while on this particular subject, because I was a product of a broken home where the divorce, my mother and father, my father ended up having custody, and we're going back a long time. That's a whole long story. So I needed someone to talk to at that point, because it was, you know, I'm getting up there, so divorce wasn't that prevalent. But I can relate to that. I can also relate to my own divorce, where my ex-husband at that time tried very hard to get custody and brought my children over here when I was in London. So had I have had someone to be able to give me advice, your service is very, very important.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It is, and people don't realize that instead of running to an attorney first, because that's, you know, common sense, is like check out like our organization, and there's other organizations. My feeling is get the facts. So you need to get the knowledge first about what you're walking into. Then when you get the knowledge, you then have the resources, and then you can achieve success versus jumping right to the court system, because people, for example, I told a young lady the other day, and I said to her, do you want the courts telling you how you're going to do the visitation and the financial? Because they're in your life until that child's 18, if not longer. Or do you want to work it out and make the decisions for your life? So I put it just that clearly, that, you know, how should I say it, common sense.
Do you still have a show now?
I don't have a show now. What I am going to be doing on a quarterly basis, I will be doing my podcast again. I did have my show back in the day, and I was starting to produce a new talk show, and then we hit COVID. And with COVID, that kind of put everything on hold because people were really spending money, and then I had other personal things come up that held me back. And I said, if I'm going to do it, now I'm going to do it. I'm going to get out, and I don't care. And this is what people forget, is that I did it a long time ago, or I've been doing it, but I haven't been doing it a lot. I should give it up. And I say to everybody, don't give it up. If it's your passion, you love it, and you're good at it, find a way to do it. It doesn't have to be every day, but find a way. Even if it's 1 hour, and build up. Don't give up on what your dream and goals are. Keep doing if you got that passion inside you.
You know, she's like the coach. I wish I had known you when I was in the
Sounds like what Russell just said.
But she's another one of them. And she's a coach and has the knowledge and can show you the right way of doing the situation. You know, I tell my kids, don't get mad at your mom, and you want to be mad at me, that's okay, because I'm confronting them face to face. But don't get mad at your mom, it just didn't work out, which is fine. But don't badmouth your mother, because they have children now.
Oh, that's the big thing, and this is what I see having grandchildren myself that are actually teenagers, and I can see how the dynamics of my daughter and our relationship, and as it grew and they got older, and the other parties of my grandchildren and what they are like, I can really see the impact of what my daughter and I went through, because she was a pawn, my son was a pawn, and I can really identify with what happens when you can't work together, even with the grandchildren.
It's true. And the funny thing is that I tell this one here, when you become a grandparent, because you're not there yet, there's a fine fence. My mother used to talk to me about, you got to sit on that fence. Good, bad, or indifferent. What happens with your kids and their marriages and their kids. You have to sit the fence because you can't take sides. And sometimes anger prevails over common sense.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to do now is get people to understand, what do you want? Do you want peace? You want to have positive energy and feel good no matter what it is? Or do you have anger and hate that will self-destruct you in different ways and you may not realize it, but it will self-destruct? Because I've seen what happened to those in my own family who were party to this, what has happened to them by their anger. And they were very prominent people here in South Florida and up north, so they had a greater risk, but it didn't mean anything. They still had to hold on that anger and still keep using it against me.
And what do your kids say now that they're grown? Now that they can reflect back on it?
Truthfully, my kids, and I think a lot of kids, when there has been a lot of turmoil, a lot of brainwashing, they don't want to talk about it. You want to talk about it, help them understand things, but on some level, I think it's too painful. They don't want to have to relive it, so they don't really want to discuss it, because there have been situations that I wanted to say to my daughter, well, I understand because this, and this is why you're doing, or whatever it may be. It was like, I can't say anything, so that I actually have to be very careful when I am with my kids that I really stay away from it, even though I know it'd be beneficial for them to have a better understanding of the dynamics and who and why we are today.
Interesting. You should be on the air. COVID is gone now, and you should be on the air because
I would love to. What I'm looking for, to be honest, and putting it out there, we are looking for a new team of dynamic people to work with the National Single Parent Resource Center so that I can be out there doing the speaking, doing the shows, and then we have the funds to pay the people to do the inside work.
It's funny because you have the foundation of stability, and you can do anything if that foundation is in place.
Exactly.
And psychologically, it took me a lot to get over getting divorced. I didn't want to get divorced. I was asked to get divorced in the second time, too.
It's hard for men.
And then I didn't have children at the time. But the first one was an accident, whatever. But the second one, it bothered me because it kept me from my boys. And I used to drive on Friday night, coach Freddie in football, see Gio, do a game, and drive all night to come back to work on Saturday morning.
Wow. Parents are doing that. I know a friend from the organization, she wanted to get away, so she moved to Orlando, and they agreed to a 200-mile radius that she could travel to. And that's what she did, and they would meet in Vero Beach.
And that's why I never left Florida, because they were here.
Exactly.
So important now, single parenting. It's tough, and even parents that choose to be single parents.
Yeah.
What that entails, support for the kids and all of these things. It's a lot more acceptable now, I think, and commonplace to be of a single parent household. But it doesn't make it any easier, whether there's boys not missing their dads or girls missing their moms. It can go either way now. But the resources need to be there and need to be out there for all people to have the educational opportunities to see what it is.
But your grandkids are the ones that end up suffering the psychological mess that you leave behind. And you could be the best parent in the world, and I can show you it's there because your kid is never the same. Never.
The
My boys
saddest
are
part
never the
about
same.
this is when one parent talks about the other, and that has I saw that as a child and also later on from my marriage. So I saw that. I feel that is so bad. It's so bad. I had a lot said about me. I knew who I was, and I never said anything bad. The effect on children at that point, because it affected me. I didn't want to do that to my own children.
Yeah. Look how close you are now to your grandkids.
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, I agree with you because I happened to witness my brother's first divorce and saw how the mother was treating my nephew with my brother, and it was like, I can't do that. So I always made sure that I kept the door open for my kids to talk to their fathers, because I did 2 marriages, like a lot of us, and have a child from each one, and it really made a difference. It really made a difference, and it's so important, and I always repeat myself, is try to find the positives, try to find what is good, and not harbor on the bad things, because if you do, it's never going to go away.
True that.
It's true.
What was the name of your podcast?
It was the Coach Judy Live Talk Show.
Well, I think we should bring the Coach Judy Live Talk Show back.
I would love to bring it back. I miss it. I love it. And
it is necessary.
But one person can't do it all, and so it takes the right team to make it happen.
Oh, Well, we got a team and you got a voice, so it's like your chocolate and our peanut butter. And today's the perfect day for you to be here because this man we haven't seen for 6 months and he reappeared suddenly on Monday.
And you see what happens when he shows up? A lot of things happen.
Every time Russell comes in, it's always good.
Something
and put him
happens.
with Sally, forget it. It's just, and then we had Evelyn. So today's all new and old back together again.
It's all the swirls, as they say.
Everything goes around. I mean, things are a cycle.
Yep.
I mean, it's unbelievable. People don't realize it.
Are any of you guys products of a single family home? Kennedy is. Does any of this make sense to you? Oh, yeah. Unlearn everything in the brainwashing. See, then you get a fresh perspective from another generation. So it could be a lot of interdynamic conversation that you could have.
Well, see, that's what I would love to have since I can't do it with my own daughter. It's like I would love to hear the generation that's lived it and really give perspective so that parents can actually hear what they really have done to the children. As a matter of fact, I have a video program now that we're launching that's on YouTube, that's private, that you can join, and it actually goes in with vignettes that shows if you don't know how to communicate, which we address in the video, it then shows you what you're doing to your children and what really happens if you don't communicate. And also we went into an area of a true story with alienation that actually involved the nieces and nephews and everybody else in the family, and the person being the outsider because of the brainwashing.
I gotta tell you, so much is involved psychologically. I never realized, when I used to coach, I coached for 21 years of football and baseball, every age, because my kids were growing up and I wanted them to be involved in sports. I never realized the psychological stuff that I was dealing with my kids, and they're my kids. I used to tell my parents, when they're on the field, they're mine. You get them, when the game is over, they're back to being yours, but they're mine. And I didn't realize until after I coached just how much those kids went through being single parent family.
We've
divorces.
got a couple in here that are having a tough time.
And now I am so sensitive to watch what goes on because I've seen it. And I became a part of that. And I stayed away from the anger. You know, and like I told you the other day, and I hope Michelle is feeling better, and she called me today and she needed me to be there, I will fly out. I got no animosity whatsoever.
Freddie, I want to congratulate you for being that way because we need a lot more fathers and grandparents to be that way from that standpoint. I always say, you know, try to find what is positive, and as you're dealing with it, there is something positive. You may not see it right away, but all of a sudden you'll find this was positive because it's also about a thought for a moment, a second, an hour, a day. All of those accumulate into being who you are and the messaging that you're putting out there. Like if you're angry, you're going to display that in different ways and people not realizing it. And then if you could put on a way of seeing that something in a positive, you know, even if it's a thought, even if it's just meeting somebody at one time, that's something positive. Because so many people today they think things through negativity. But turn that negativity and see what you can find and think it through a positive because it's your whole energy is reflective when you are angry or when you're positive and happy.
Ain't that the truth?
And human beings drink energy. They drink it more than words.
How do people find you, Coach Judy?
They can several different ways. They can call 561-441-8557. They can go to coachjudy.info is the main website that takes you to the different programs we have. As the reason we're doing that is that we cannot change or update our former single-parent website, but you can, through coachjudy.info, link and see our website, download the practical tips we have, and have all the great information there.
Wow. All right, more to come. We've got Coach Judy. We're going to talk with Evelyn, Sally, and Russ. This is a huge topic that I think is really important to get back out there.
Well, Russell does it again.
Always.
Isn't that what you were just saying?
More to come. We're going to take a commercial break, and we will be right back.
Breaking news, aliens have finally made contact with.
Welcome to the AMP Media Studios here in beautiful downtown Boca Raton.
In conjunction with True Oldies Radio South Florida, AMP Media Productions is here to help amplify your impact in business and to bring greater awareness to our community. Give us a call, 866-224-5422. We'll see you soon at the cafe.
And like I always say, come on down and visit us and don't be late.
No.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, your family, your business, your peace of mind, you need reliable fire protection. Introducing All Fire Extinguisher Depot, Fire Extinguisher Service. Our certified technicians ensure your extinguishers are always ready to respond to emergencies. Before and after, we leave your fire safety in top-notch condition. Join the many satisfied clients who trust All Fire Extinguisher Depot for fire extinguisher service. Because when it comes to fire safety, there's no compromise. Contact All Fire Extinguisher Depot at 786-704-2750 to get your extinguisher service today. Your safety is our priority. That's at 786-704-2750. All Fire Extinguisher Depot, protecting what matters.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. I am so glad today we got an early start. Where are we headed anyway?
Who knows? Wherever this glorious day takes us, and we'll take Don Pablo along too. Rich and flavorful with low acidity and notes of caramel. No matter where you're going or where you end up, Don Pablo never disappoints.
Excuse me, is that Don Pablo coffee?
Sure is.
Do you have any more?
Sure do. Baby, hop in.
No matter where life takes you, Don Pablo Coffee is always there to pick you up.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing, what's up?
Nothing, just looking for music for Grandpa I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
Let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listen to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Broken Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out, thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought.
This is Smoke Barbecue. We're located in Fort Lauderdale at 3351 Northeast 32nd Street, Fort Lauderdale 33308. Our website is www.eatsmokebbq.com. It's EATSMOKEBBQ.com. You can order online. We also do catering for 10 to 10,000.
If you are looking to bring your family out to an incredible food venue, this is the place. We're at Smoke Barbecue in East Fort Lauderdale. Everything is amazing. You can see their faces on our crew, and the amount of food that they have taken down in about 15 minutes is absolutely unbelievable.
And we're still going. I can't talk, I'm eating.
And everything is coming, so here, let's eat.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. I just want to say hello to Adam. who's
Adam
watching.
Bricker?
Yeah, pickleball genius.
Pickleball baseball cards. Pickleball cards.
Pickleball cards.
More to come with that. And we also have our Four Joy paddles. We've got Megan
Four Joy.
Cleary, and these are brought to you by Stacy Cleary. Four Joy paddles. You can get all of yours. Just check out their social media. Four Joy paddles, USA Pickleball approved.
And if you're in the vicinity, come and talk to the ambassador. She's here today.
Don't you love the artwork on this? It kind of inspired me to reach back out to Evelyn. Evelyn Balin, our heart painter. You know, Evelyn watches Sally's show, I think, every Monday. And she comments every Monday, how can I help? I'm thinking, Sally said, come back on the cafe. So I thought, why not have Evelyn come back on that cafe? We've known Evelyn, oh my gosh. I've known Evelyn longer than I think I've known you.
Yes.
Or about the same time. right? A really long time.
Must have been around 2010, 2011.
Could be. Yeah, probably about 20. Yeah, she graduated high school in 2010. So yeah, 2010, 2011. And now I got to show you what she's creating. Evelyn was the first mentor to my daughter and pursuing her art career. Yeah. And now she's getting her master's at GW in art therapy. And now she's doing all these books and repurposing things. And it's amazing and so much of an inspiration from Evelyn. And she just, like Russell, keeps coming back into our lives. And in time for Valentine's Day, I thought nothing better than bringing in some heart art.
Heart art.
Heart art.
Heart art.
Heart art, heart art.
I don't know which way to go here.
And I think Evelyn is we're going to be giving this piece away.
Yes, I'm doing a giveaway here on the Brooklyn Cafe TV show. And all you got to do is follow the Heart Painter on social media. So
Simple.
Easy. That's it. And then we're going to pick somebody that's following. I guess you can help me. We'll figure it out. How about you follow me on social media? Comment, I saw you on the Brooklyn Cafe TV show, tag the show, and make a comment about how amazing the show is. How's that? And we'll pick the best one, the best comment. But got to follow the Heart Painter on social media.
And every time Evelyn's here, I end up redoing another room in my house. Don't think I haven't thought about that. I got one more room left, I think.
Yeah.
Because she does amazing artwork on your walls.
Oh, I love to paint walls. I love to paint walls. I think it has to do with the grandness of the space. You know, like I get to really stretch out. And just like I like painting big canvases. But where I'm painting right now, my studio that I have is on the smaller side. So not enough room for that. But anyway, I love it.
What do we have for Valentine's Day? I guess every day is Valentine's Day for you.
Hello, every day needs to be Valentine's Day for everybody, okay? So love is an everyday feeling. Every day is a love day. Either you're going to love yourself more and more or love somebody that you care about more and more. Love the garden, love the sun, the ocean, everything needs to be more loved. The more we love, the better it is. So yes, every day is Valentine's Day. I just happen to paint a lot of hearts. It came to me one day that hearts was something that brought me out of like a depression. And I had always said, what the hell am I painting all these hearts for? And then I realized I'm here to remind you all that you are love. That's our true essence. And that's why we see little tokens of love everywhere. Sometimes, don't you ever see like a heart where you go and like, oh, you always think of it like, that's pretty cool. That's your little reminder. Well, that's what these paintings are all about, reminding you that you're love.
It's so much better than we talked about the news earlier and how it's always so sad and it's always so negative. We definitely, see, Russell, you do it again. We need more love and hope and positivity in our lives, and that's what we need to focus on, as opposed to all that other. He said, keep going. Well, we've been doing this for what, about 2 hours now? So far, we've got family advice on single parenting and kids. We've got some more love. We've got people changing mindset.
What did you learn today?
What did I learn today?
Opportunity is for those that seek it. So here's an opportunity, there's an opportunity, and there's an opportunity. But you have to take advantage when it comes along. And you have to put it to play, and you have to really believe in it, and then you have to enhance it. So if you know 100 people, and I know her work, I've seen her work, and you know 100 people and you were to tell them, you got to check this out. Maybe 1% of 100 will say, listen, I need to talk to you. Not like in your case, 90% would talk in your case. In your case, it'll be 100% is what happens. But you got to find the opportunities to move it forward with people that have the right ingredients to do that. But you got to pick it.
You got to get out of your comfort zone and not be complacent in where you're at, that you actually have to go out and say hello and make that next step and introduce yourself and grow what you've got. What'd you bring today?
Well, you mentioned to bring some art, so I thought let me bring a couple of these little pieces that I've been working on. And this is the piece that if you follow the Heart Painter, you could win. And that's called I Win.
Everyone loves your giveaways.
So, and this is the original of the same. Oh, no, it's not. What am I talking about? Oopsies, made a mistake. So anyway, I've been working a lot with crushed glass lately. And in fact, I've been asked to do some crush. You know how in a Jewish wedding, the guy will smash the glass?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually doing some of those now where I'm taking the crushed glass and putting it into a piece of art with a heart.
That's so cool.
I think it's pretty cool. So this one is crushed glass. No, glass from the wedding, but this kind of thing is, I just love to do that. And some other paintings that I have, the little paintings. Let me, on my website, theheartpainter.com, you can get my art on different substances, like different substrates. This is metal. It's cool. It gives
That's
a little
nice.
shine. Isn't that pretty? I love that. And it's easy to hang. So that's something. And my website has all that stuff. And then I started to do, where's my other one? I wanted to show you. Where is it? I started to do a little bit of a series of messages. So there we go. We got a heart, dare to love. Because you know what? Some people are afraid of love, afraid of loving themselves, afraid of loving another. You really have to start with yourself. Got to love yourself more and more before you can love someone else. And when you love yourself more and more, oh my God, love opens up everywhere. You start seeing greener trees.
Love you all.
Sky is bluer. Yeah, gotta love yourself.
Hold the one with the metal up, the metal piece.
Yeah, sure. I'd love to show you.
I have to ask you a question.
So all these pieces that I have on
I have that on a tote bag.
Now, that metal piece, can it be put outside and it won't disintegrate?
Yes.
Why are you laughing,
Dawn?
Lucy?
Because I love you so much, because I know where you're going with this.
Where are you going, Freddie?
He wants to put one of your big hearts outside on our wall.
There's a big wall out there, but I can't deface the wall because the landlord will go bananas on me.
Every time I come here, I'm thinking, I want to paint a mural on that wall.
So do I, but I don't think I should ask him. I don't know. He let me put the lights
But he
up.
let us hang lights.
The place needs a paint job.
I saw that driving along. I never mentioned that. I saw a whole lot outside. You know, from what I told you today.
You thought it was a burning bush?
No, I saw all this art similar to what Evelyn's drawing. I
Oh.
saw it on the outside. I didn't know you were coming today.
Oh, funny.
And actually, we knew each other before. We didn't meet here in the
That's
studio.
so funny.
So,
right.
How big can you make that piece?
If I got a big piece of metal, you can paint on top of the metal, and then what do? We shellac it or something so it doesn't come off?
Well, we can talk about the process, painting on metal outside.
It's going to be on that wall right there. It's a plate.
So these pieces are already created. They do it in the shop, and it's not hand painted. This is a print that's been placed into metal. I don't know how do they do it. I have nothing about the process in me, but it's part of a printing company.
But you can take any of her pieces and have it printed on any size piece of metal that she's already created.
Piece.
I don't know how big you want it.
About 10 by 15.
That's a big piece.
I love it.
I'll show you.
Oh my God.
I'll show you the spot. I don't know how.
10 by 15?
I don't know what it is. I gotta measure it. It's
Don't be
big.
lying
The
to
whole
me,
other
Freddie.
side of the wall?
Right there in the front.
On the other side of the window? Yeah. By the table? Yeah. Oh.
Right next to, right on top of the table.
But you like the metal, right? The metal is so
I like
cool.
it because it doesn't disintegrate.
Yeah, the metal is cool.
You see, I put a lot of things out there. I had a painting, and it disintegrated the painting.
We had a table, it disintegrated.
What, on canvas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had another one, wood one. See, because the sun in Florida is very powerful.
It could be tough.
So a metal piece, I think it would not disintegrate it.
These make such great gifts, not only for Valentine's Day, just for everything. I went to visit my mom in the hospital. She loved the little bear you sent for her in the little mug. But a little heart painting, it's something you always have with you on your desk to remind you of love, right? For your kids,
right?
Anything.
I'll tell you one thing, these hearts touch hearts. So if you want to give something to somebody and it has meaning, these have a lot of meaning there. Because one, I paint them with a lot from my heart, with the idea that whoever sees these will be reminded that they are loved, which is my mission in life. Because I discovered it, I think everybody needs to discover that you are love. That's you.
What else you have in there? I see a lot of things.
Yeah, I have little, smaller paintings that I've created over time that I brought. I got some for the Floridians in the house. Little heart with, I keep forgetting where the camera is. There you are.
And then you could even do a whole array on your wall. You buy a couple of the little ones, right?
Oh my God, that is such a great idea. Yes. Yes, you're an awesome decorator. That if you put a few of these together and make like a panel of paintings, yes, you'll have a beautiful display. I know some people have heart walls. They just, have a wall and they put all different kinds of heart paintings on it. Really cool. So when you walk in your house, you're touched by love. Yeah. You want to feel love in your house. You want to feel like your house is a sanctuary. So you've got to create that.
I love walking in my house and people come and they touch the wall that you did. Couple walls.
Oh, sweet.
The grass cloth that she did in one room, and then she did the fleur-de-lis in another room. And everyone thinks it's paper. So they don't think about it. And then you tell them that it's hand-painted, and they all go, oh. You should see their jaws drop. It just changed the whole dynamic of what it is.
That's another idea. You could do like a cloth and paint on it, right?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
She can do anything.
Cloth.
I have an idea.
Freddie is the idea man.
I have an idea.
I just want to share this one with you. It's in the center there. It's called Drop It. Because sometimes we hold on to ideas. I think we were kind of talking about it before, where somebody gets you angry and all you do is perseverate on it. And you're holding on to this anger. You're holding on to this venom. But the truth of the matter is, who are you really killing?
True.
So drop it. It's not that important. And if you drop it, you'll feel a lot better. And it's just a story you keep telling yourself. Let it go. Drop it. I wanted to share that because that's a big message for everybody.
Coach, that's right up your alley.
Yes, it is. I've got some ideas as you were talking, what we might be able to do for single parents.
Oh, love it.
You can make it a single parent club. You can make it lots of stuff. That's interesting.
I love collaboration. Totally.
That's really interesting.
Looking for collaborators.
I think every time you're here, you're collaborating with someone on a project.
But that's the key to success, is collaborate. Not one person can do it all.
It's true. You need a team.
That's why I tell you, we should build a stage. Because we have to keep growing.
You need a team to collaborate.
She's ignoring me. A stage.
You know how many ideas you throw out at me in a day?
And you're still ignoring me.
I'm not, I hear you.
You could say, oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
See, that's a positive spin to something that
you can make it in the shape of a heart. Like
I'll settle for an
a
L.
Rectangle? You'll settle for anything.
Settle for a piece of wood.
Sally, how do you know Evelyn?
I think we met originally in a workshop.
Sally was teaching a workshop.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I used to do workshops.
What workshop were you
in my
teaching?
prior life? No, on everything that I'm talking about now. But
she met you at a workshop?
Well, you came to one of my workshops, but I actually met you before that. I don't know if you remember, down in Hollywood.
You came to my shop? You came
yes,
to the studio?
I think so. You were in Hollywood?
I was in
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
We had somebody, I can't remember. She's a psychic, and she was down there.
Jill
Dane.
Jill Dane.
Yeah, I used to have a studio
Dane, yeah.
where I had...
That's where we met.
I called it the psychic... What did I call it?
I don't remember. It's quite a long time ago.
It was. Was a. I would have speakers come all day long, and some of them were psychics, and they would do readings for the group. And
actually, I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll talk afterwards. It might have been not there, but it was somebody that was, or maybe it was your workshop.
Did you work with Jill Dane? Did you work with Jill Dane's mom?
No, I never met.
I worked with Jill Dane's mom.
I want to say.
And then Jill Dane came to me and says, "Well, you got to work with me now because my mother said." And we never got it together, but I know Jill Dane.
She's a lovely lady. Levy also. She goes by Jill Dane.
Oh yeah, no, she's a wonderful
lady. Yeah.
Wonderful lady. Yeah, she's come to the store, the studio, a number of times and did the event with me. So she would sit on. I had a stage.
That must have been where we met.
She had a stage.
I had a stage.
Yes.
And so Jill and I would sit up in the front, and and the audience would give her questions, and
that's where I
and we
was.
kind of went bantered back and forth with that. Yeah.
Quite a
What
few
kind
years
of? Wait a
ago
minute.
now,
What
yeah.
kind of question?
2015 or so. Whatever the audience was asking,
Oh, it didn't matter?
love questions, and she's a
Oh, we
psychic.
should do
She
that with
answers
Sally.
whatever.
Sally, you should do a Valentine's Day
So
show.
we could banter with you.
Yeah.
Let's
and
banter.
what was your workshop on? I'm
Well,
interested.
basically, people, it was similar to what I'm doing now, but I talked about my art and how it came about, and then people would ask me questions. Mine is more, it's a little different today because people call in with any sort of question. But I did workshops, and that's how we
So why
met.
you never do a workshop here?
I would love to, of course.
Yes, Sally.
Of course.
My head, I'm going to do The Exorcist soon. It's going to turn in 360.
Look at all these ideas we've got going today.
But why you never did it? You never told me you did that.
Yeah, I did. Well, you didn't ask me. You have to ask me the question first before I give the. You know that. I tell everybody that's on my show, ask me the question. I'll come up with the answer as best I can.
So the question is, Sally, are you going to do a workshop
I'm
here?
going. Yes. Now that you mentioned it, absolutely. Please come again to one of my.
I should put my
workshops.
hat on backwards.
Why?
Because she's around to spin my head around.
I've done
That
many
way-
things I haven't told you,
That way
Freddie.
my head will be around, and when you see the other
I'm
side, it
watching
looks like The Exorcist.
Kennedy's moving the camera.
She's
Sally's
driving me
talking.
nuts. Between her and her, I'm completely losing
I'm
it.
sorry,
And she's still moving the camera.
I'm way up in the ceiling
Wait,
now.
Sally's head is
Look,
in the.
I've come right up. In the
She's not
ceiling.
in it. She's not in it.
There we go.
Oh, boy.
That's funny.
Oh, dear.
You following all this over here, you guys?
That was funny.
How can you see collaborating with Evelyn?
Well, I see from the standpoint is everybody needs a picture to remind them who they are and what their purpose is, and if you're a parent, the purpose is to love and accept and love unconditionally.
Remember who you are.
I love the idea of, well, what I do when I have a client, I work with, I don't want to call it channel because I don't think that, I don't know what I do, but I tap into their energy as best as I can, and then I'll create the heart for them that way. So maybe that's something that we're talking about here.
Yeah, you
I
did
can
that in my
relate to
house.
that actually, Evelyn, because when I used to do readings, I lived in Orlando, and I knew at that point I discovered that I was painting and I was able to do that. But as I would give a reading, I got their energy and I'd put it, and it came up often in hearts actually, energy on the paper. So that's
I'm sorry.
great.
You said you did what in Orlando?
I used to do readings like I do
In
here.
Orlando,
yeah,
too?
but when I would give a reading to someone, at that point, I was just beginning to realize that I could draw, because that came to me also spiritually. And I would draw, as I was giving them the reading, I would draw my artwork, not like I'm doing, it was more of an energy with lines and all sorts of things. And then after the reading, and I've got some thank yous from people where I would hand them the piece of paper, which I gave them afterwards, and I felt
So why
their
don't you
energy.
do that now? I'm sorry.
I could do, oh my gosh,
I'm-
we're
I'm-
coming
I'm-
up with
I'm
so
very
much.
confused with you.
Oh my goodness, I
You've
always
been doing your show here for a year.
What was
Wait a
being
minute, wait a minute.
abducted?
Let me get into
72 weeks, if you want to know
You've
how
been
many
here- you've been
thumbnails
here
I've
for-
Everybody
made.
here brings out. Russ brought out my abduction. All
You've been
these
here
things.
for 50. You've been here for 200 years. You've been here 72 weeks, and now you tell me.
Oh,
you do
there's
these
so
things.
much more, Freddie.
Well, you know what it is that we take things in and we don't even realize we're taking things in. And all of
Right.
a sudden they pop out when you least expect it.
She got married a year ago.
Right.
Oh,
Her husband.
congratulations.
Her husband was sitting in that chair, and she came out of her bag
With Russell.
with Russell about all this stuff. He's sitting there,
He knew
and I
nothing.
looked down at him and says, "Did you know that before you married her?" You know what he tells me? Who the hell is she?
Well, I like to give a little at a time, a little and a little and a little. Yeah. Just ask me the question.
my
you know
neck
I'll
is
give the
hurting me
answer.
from turning in twirls here.
I know, it's a whole lot of energy going on in
Holy
here.
smokes!
Right? So many pieces, but yet together, it's a collective shift in energy.
It's
all
a collective
positive.
something.
It's because of you. He doesn't say much, does he?
No, he never does.
Oh, he does
sets
when
it
he,
up.
I can vouch. He will talk.
He does.
No, he likes to set it up, and then it's called going downhill. Let it all happen.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at that, which is incredible. All right, how are people going to win this beautiful piece of art?
They're going to follow the Heart Painter on social media, and I'll leave it on for, let's say, 72 hours. How's that? And they follow me on, I'll know if they're following me on social media. Just comment, I saw you at the Brooklyn Cafe TV show, and we'll go from there. Give me a nice comment. Tell me what you love about the Brooklyn Cafe TV show.
And you've got one piece down by your right foot. Let's show that pink piece. Your other right.
This piece?
Uh-huh.
No, I do on my amazing.
Oh, that's your tote bag.
On my amazing theheartpainter.com, you'll find my art on different kinds of products like tote bags. So this is a painting that was an original. You could see a lot of texture in it, and have many different styles on theheartpainter.com.
Maybe we can keep some here for Valentine's Day.
I'm going outside to show you a big piece.
Okay, we're going to go outside. All right, follow Evelyn at theheartpainter.com. You can find Sally on Call Me Zena, and she's here every Monday at 2:30 to answer your questions. Valentine's, I think we're going to put a table in front of you next week and let you do what you do.
Because Freddie will be more active. He'll be on my show, and he'll ask me all these questions about me he didn't know.
Yeah, I'm going to go into your playbook and find out the secret plays you have.
We'll bring Russell on, and maybe we'll get some alien designs as well. You never know, interplanetary galactic travel. And then you can find, I'm going to say Jill Dane, it's in here. You can find Coach Judy at, what's your website?
CoachJudy.info, I-N-F-O.
CoachJudy.info. Megan, thank you so much for sharing these amazing paddles, 4 Joy paddles with us. You can get your, I think there's specials out, you said, if you go on Instagram, find the special promo code. So go check that out. There's 4 designs. This is just one of them, because this kind of resonated with me. Now I need to learn to play. Isn't that beautiful?
So that's a pickleball
paddle. And her mom did the artwork on it.
Amazing popular game.
Nice. Isn't that great?
I'm going to have shoes to match that paddle. I'm working on it right now because I want to get into the shoe business with the paddles.
Cool.
It's like the dawn.
The dawn.
The dawn. All right, more to come. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe. Be kind to each other. We will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.